Oh, colorful creation, grant these our one request. Help us to build a nation when no man is oppressed, and so in peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. As soon as we proclaim, from hills and valleys will come to draw from the stream of knowledge. Our duty is to succeed in learning and service. Excellence is our goal. Ahmadu Bello University, and our dreams we shall achieve. We give thanks to Almighty Allah, in Him we derive our strength. With dutiful we shall have it, by the ways of good learning. North to south, east to west, your name shall always be. Ahmadu Bello University, a citadel of great learning.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please, can we take our seats? Please, I also like to recognize the presence of the Director of ICT in person of Dr. Shaibu. Please, can you join us here on the high table, please? Okay, thank you very much, sir. You're welcome. All right, I also want to recognize the representative of the BOSA, person of the Deputy BOSA. Please, can we put our hands together as we welcome you? Lisa, can you join us on the high table? You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much for honoring this invitation. All right, like we all know, we're starting this meeting quite behind schedule, and so we'd like to make sure we move swiftly with the program. Therefore, I would like to call on the host of the event in person of Professor Sule Mohammed, the Dean, Faculty of Arts, for the welcome remarks. You're welcome, sir.
Let me establish one. Chairman of this occasion, Professor Musa, the representative of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Zaria, the representative of the National President of Ahmadu Bello University Alumni, the guest speakers, Dr. Danladi Bako and Mrs. Habiba Mohammed. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome to this Faculty of Arts Alumni Symposium. In line with the university to enhance alumni activity, we in the Faculty of Art decided to reactivate the faculty chapter of the alumni because over the years we only hear about the alumni activities at university level. We hardly hear of anything in the faculty and departments. So, and we were encouraged actually by the visit of the University Alumni Committee shortly before the last annual General Assembly, which held in 2023. The Executive Committee visited our department, our faculty, and interacted with us, and told us that they will be interested in assisting us in several ways. So we went into action and formed our own faculty committee, and the committee has since then been working, to ensure that the faculty chapter came to life. This symposium is the first step towards the homecoming that we are planning to have before the end of the year. We decided to have the symposium first so that our existence would be recognized widely before the homecoming. And so this is why we are here. And for this symposium, speakers have been selected to speak on the topic, the role of the youth in national development, economy, security, and sustainability. We are very confident that speakers will do justice to the topic. And we are sure that what they are going to tell us will impact on not only our youth, but the reality of the population of Nigerians. So with this, I wish you happy listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Dean, Faculty of Arts, for that brief remark. I would like to welcome Malam Bashir. I'd like to welcome Malam Bashir Munir, the Deputy Registrar, Alumni Relations, to represent Professor Sani Abba Aliu, Directorate of University Advancement and International Education, for his remarks. You're welcome, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols duly observed. When I was asked this morning to represent the Directorate of University Advancement, I thought that I would not have better time than now. In 1987, I was admitted at Ahmadu Bello University to read history, but later I opted to read international studies and graduated in 1990. As the Alumni Relations Officer of the university today, I feel I belong where I belong here. This is my faculty. May I seek from the audience a minute silence in honor of our late academic Abdullahi Mahdi, who taught me history, Professor Dr. George Panashi, and Malan Professor Yakubu Nasidi of blessed memory. A minute silence to respect the date, please. Can we stand up, please? May their soul rest in peace. Can you sit down, please? The personalities I call their names were very dear to us.
Thank you very much, Marlon Rashid Munir. We understand that sometimes remembering loved ones like this can be quite an emotional time. Their souls resting. I would like to welcome Professor. Thank you.
They have made huge contribution in the growth and development of this institution, which is very dear to us. I also forgot to mention Jens was dear to us too. Our retired director who had a key role in winning a grant, the MacArthur grant, which intervened in the internet facilities we have today on campus. I was very happy to hear the director, ICT, Sokoto. These are interventions made by people from the Faculty of Arts. They have contributed.
Thank you very much, madam. We're grateful. All right, without further ado, I would like to welcome Professor Mariam Aminu for the next. Okay, we're already here. She will be representing Alhaji Adamu Kwantogora, the Alumni National President. You're welcome, Prof.
In the name of the Almighty Allah, the most beneficent, the merciful, the Dean of Faculty of Arts, the representative of the Vice Chancellor, the representative of the Director of University of Advancement, the Registrar, Mrs. Habiba Mohammed, Director of Center for Girls Education, Alan, my brand, all others on the IT. Good morning. The deans and HOD students, good morning. I am honored to represent the President of the Great ABU Alumni Association today, this symposium that is organized by the Faculty of Arts. Today, we gather here today to discuss a very crucial topic, the role of youth in national development, economic security, and sustainability. I feel that this symposium is very, very timely and the topic is apt. I'm representing the alumni president worldwide. He has his remarks, which I am going to go through now. So I read his remarks. Firstly, he's excited and he wants to extend his heartfelt gratitude to the faculty chapters of the Alumni Association for their unwavering support during the recent AGA election that brought the NEC members to power. And I would like to particularly thank my brother, Professor Sule Mohammed, the Dean of Professor Kebiru Bala, and the entire university management and community. Your support since our inauguration has been invaluable. I am pleased to state that the relationship between the Alumni Association and the university has reached unprecedented levels of collaboration and mutual understanding. The support and trust from the university management and the congregation during the last congregation meeting have been humbling. He says that the support, the 100% support of my leadership is a testament to the readiness and commitment you saw in us, that is the NEC members. Our leadership is committed to supporting the university in achieving its objectives. Within the first month of our tenure as members of NEC, we achieved a 100% contribution rate from individual executive committee members to the endowment fund. It means that all the NEC members have paid the endowment fund fees. This demonstrates our dedication and proactive approach to supporting the university. The Alumni Association has been actively participating in all university engagements and events organized by various faculties, departments, and student bodies. This active involvement fosters a closer relationship and better understanding between the alumni and the university community. Under my leadership, there is convincing evidence that the Alumni Association is now more closely connected to the university, creating an enabling and friendly environment for collaboration. We are looking closely with the reunion group. Looking ahead, we are organizing a gala and award night in November this year in Abuja. This event aims to bring together major stakeholders, both alumni and friends of the university, providing a platform to identify and support projects beneficial to the university. Furthermore, we are dedicated to promoting the good image of Ahmadu Bello University and appreciate the excellent working relationship with the Director of University Advancement and International Engagement under the leadership of Professor Sani Habba. In conclusion, we appreciate everyone's efforts and commitment. The Alumni Association is eager to work with all faculties to ensure the continued progress and success of our beloved university. Thank you. This is his remark. That's Ademuma.
At this moment, to call names, but I'll call a few. Let me recognize our Dean, Professor Sule Mohammed. Let me also pay respect to the alumni officer of the university for the good work he's doing. Let me also recognize Madam Danladi Bako. We grew up hearing about him on NTA. To put us together for so Sani Abba Aliyu to come to the podium and make some remarks on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of this university, Professor Kabir Bola, who is unavoidably absent. Let's put us together for him as a also say good morning to all of you in the audience, our colleagues. Quite a number of you are alumni of this university. Some are still our students. You will soon be where we are now as alumni. May you continue to do your studies properly and keep the good name of ABU even as you do your studies. I can see a number of my colleagues in the audience. Some are in the faculty, some are from outside. Welcome to this program. Sunny.
Good morning, everyone here. As indicated, I'm here to present our Vice Chancellor, Professor Kabir Bola, who is, as indicated, is away from the university at the moment. The Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Ahmadu Ibrahim, who was now supposed to come on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, also had to travel this morning. So he called me yesterday in the night and asked me to come and represent the Vice Chancellor at this particular occasion. And of course, I'm already involved in the organization and planning of this particular event. So, but I'm not speaking here in that capacity. On behalf of the university, we are really proud to have a galaxy of distinguished alumni of this university that have been gathered here under the auspices of the Faculty of Arts. This is a very welcome development, and as indicated by the Dean in his address, the university remains passionate about the development of alumni chapters across the university. It is in this regard that the Vice Chancellor has paid particular attention to this program organized by the faculty and has extended all the support that is required for a successful symposium. Specifically, I would want to note the presence of the chairman of this occasion, who is, I think, is the oldest alumnus here. I'm not sure there's somebody who is old. I know we had an event here, and Dr. John Aggie came, and we were introducing him. He said he was a 1972 graduate. At that occasion, he was the oldest. But at the moment, I think Professor USA Higher is the oldest alumnus of the Faculty of Arts, not just of the university, but of the Faculty of Arts, Ahmadu Bello University. His Excellency has served as ambassador and has remained committed to the university. When he was ambassador, he made donation of equipment to the Drama Village and also pledged and provided a lot of the publications that he has also produced. He has made them available to the university. And I think these are important ways in which alumni, remain connected with the institution itself. So we welcome you, sir, and we thank you for remaining passionate about the university. Also, the two other speakers, Dr. Danladi, Bako, Kogunan, Sokoto, and Habiba Mohammed, are also all alumni of the faculty, and also welcome their commitment and their passion and their willingness to come and share their perspectives on the question of youth engagement in this country. We also we thank the president of the Alumni Association for asking Professor Mariam, the Dean of Life Sciences, and also we note the presence of Sayin and Katina, who is the Vice President Northwest of the ABU Alumni Association. Essentially, therefore, my message for the Vice Chancellor's office is that the university has launched its endowment fund, and as indicated in the address of the President of the Association, this endowment fund was launched in 2023 and is still ongoing, and the board of the foundation, chaired by Alhaji Ahmed, that long before he became the Chancellor, the Pro-Chancellor, already chairing the BOT, has already agreed that for graduates of 5 years and above, the minimum contribution is 25,000 naira per annum, 25,000 naira per annum. You could give much more because we have had a situation where people have given much more. But I think this is a good platform to introduce the endowment. And the idea of the endowment, of course, is that the university will have funds to support scholarship for students, to support research, to support other activities for which the regular sources of funding cannot provide. So basically, that is the intention. So in other words, this event is a welcome event, and the university welcomes everybody, all the participants, both coming from outside and those from inside. And we welcome you to also, there is a tour, I notice. So please take your time to participate in the tour and see the changes in the university. We encourage you also to take people to this phase 2 of the university, because the older graduates do not know that actually the university has expanded and developments on this side are no longer being encouraged. Developments are now focused on the other side. So on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, therefore, I welcome everybody here and also declare this symposium open. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Vice Chancellor of this university, ably represented by Professor Sani Abba. Thank you very much for these remarks. All right, gentlemen and ladies, I'd like to make welcome the chairman of this occasion in person of Professor Yowise Aye. I crave your indulgence, please, sir, join me here as I invite Mr. Dominic Aboy to take the citation for one of the oldest alumni present here today. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Let's once again recognize Prof. Let's give him a round of applause, please. I'm standing on existing protocols, and I'm going to read the citation of our distinguished Professor Yowise Aye. Prof is very humble. He doesn't want us to read the whole encyclopedia of his achievements, and he has obliged us to be as simple as we can. Even though we will do that, we will try to be simple but not simplistic, so that it will stand as a monuments of reference for others, and many of us are looking forward to see persons and personalities of his caliber and the magnitude of his achievement. On that pedestal, I will want to quickly give us a little highlights of what Prof has achieved, so that the summary will not leave some of the stones he probably do not want us to celebrate, but we are here to celebrate him anyway. So, Professor Aye has been Senator, Benue Northeast Senatorial District of Nigeria. He was in office from 1983, and in the same year, he was able to complete his tenure. He was Minister of State for Power and Steel in 1983, in 1994 to 1997. He was also Minister of State for Health from 1997 to 1998. He was also Nigeria's ambassador to Mexico. I know we would like to say Mexico. 2003 to 2008. And most importantly, he was Nigeria's High Commissioner to Canada from 2008 to 2012. Aside the President Leadership Institute in the US, where he occupied, among others, we will have to understand that Prof, who is here before us, has a lot that he has achieved, and I want to quickly put that across to all of us while we're here. He's a Nigerian professor of theater for development, playwright, poet, politician, administrator, activist for social justice, a senator, cabinet minister, envoy, and pro-chancellor of Afe Babalola University. We are yet to start clapping. I haven't gotten there yet. He was are we there? He's renowned for his groundbreaking research on Kwahir theater, which was inscribed on the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage List in 2019. Yes. Aya is passionate about the issues of leadership. His plays are preoccupied with the search for true leadership and other solutions to Africa's social-political problems. He is known to have engaged cultural diplomacy as a tool for foreign relations, while serving as Nigeria's ambassador to Mexico and later High Commissioner to Canada. That's why I said I'll give you some little highlights about this man's achievements. On that pedestal, I'll go straight to education because it's very important. He stands here as one of the professors of our professors. Can you please recognize that? He had his foundation in the early 50s and early 30s in Zaki Blam. You have to excuse me sometimes for my pronunciations. He attended a missionary secondary school run by the Christian Church. You see what I told you? On that pedestal, I'll move to the last part of my citation. The last part, just the last part, or the last paragraph, if you permit me. He's a recipient of one of Nigeria's highest honors, the Officer of the Order of the Niger. And on that ground, against my personal wishes, I want to invite us to stand up, please, as we welcome the speaker of today. Please, let's be on our feet, especially if you wish to be this strong. Let's be on our feet, please, and welcome our one and only Professor Yose Aya.
Please be seated. Thank you, Masters of Ceremonies. I give gratitude to God Almighty for the privilege to be here today as the chairman of the occasion. A lot of time has gone, and if I am going to be chairman of this occasion before now, I would have said no form of citation for the chairman. There's no need for it, absolutely. We want to hear the citation of our speakers, but more importantly, we want to hear them speak. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, my dean, my heads of departments, principal officers of this university, faculty members, the great alumni, great ABU alumni. Yes. Each time I come here, great nostalgia. This is the great unifying factor. The assembly is still being renewed as the citadel and representation of what Sir Ahmadu Bello bequeathed to Nigeria and to the world. This, I believe, gives him justification to demand from the Nigerian youth what they can do for us in helping this country to develop. This is why we're here today. I want to thank all of you for gracing this conference, and to know that from the speech of the Vice Chancellor, there is a great synergy between the Office of the Vice Chancellor, the University Administration, the university, and the alumni. When I was invited to come here, I was excited because I knew I was going to listen to my friends. I was delighted at the topic, but deeply worried also at the audacity of this country and this university to ask what the youth should do for us when we consider that the youth in this country has been under great oppression. Oppression due to lack of access to education and job opportunities. Oppression due to lack of voice. First, in their homes, and they suffer discrimination because they're young people, and they're being told always that you are leaders of tomorrow. You shut up, listen. The world has changed. The youth are not leaders of tomorrow. They are our leaders now. The world must get used to that idea. We, the older people, it's no longer fashionable to call people old again. You must refer to us as the older people. Don't call us old. But we would love to say that the conference today know is going to define for us who the youth is. What age do we call a Nigerian youth? Is it at the United Nations says that the youth are people aged from 14 to 24? The World Health Organization says youth is aged 10 to 19 years old. And for many countries, youth is 12 to 25. Today in Nigeria, I think we accept, as the NYSC tells us, youth is the age bracket of 15 to 29. This has been, we're going to listen to all that. And so we might come to a conclusion that at Ahmadu Bello University, we define the youth perhaps the way Nigerian politicians define the youth. Anybody who considers himself a youth is a youth. That's the Nigerian politicians. So if they go to share money and they say, we're leaving 50,000 for the youth, don't be surprised, a 60-year-old man will come and take the money. And he'll say, he is the youth leader of that party. Youth suffer all kinds of discrimination and are expected to use their youthful energy to defend us. Today, we have youth in the Nigerian Armed Forces who are fighting together, arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder, defending this country's territorial integrity, fighting to eliminate banditry, fighting to bring peace and to create harmony and to defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They are doing a great thing. I want to hear how all Nigerians who call themselves young people, if that is permitted, can make a contribution. My opportunity to stand at this forum is simply to be the timekeeper. And I'm going to be very, very conscious of time, knowing that we started late and knowing that we have other things to do. As your chairman, I want to say that we need to address youth oppression and youth challenges, because all those things you were talking about to me as achievements. The greatest achievement I had was coming to Ahmadu Bello University. As a young man, I was here at the age of 19. And I graduated here at the age of 23. Best years of my life was opening my mind on how to think in this faculty. The Ahmadu Bello University has made great contributions across the world's civilizations and cultures, across continents. There is no single continent where a former university graduate of Ahmadu Bello University is not making a contribution. As a 1974 graduate, not 72, if I have a senior among you, I will kindly doff my cap and ask him to chair the occasion. But if there is none, then I'm going going to not only be a chairman, but a gerontocratic leader who will insist to be heard. Thank you for giving me those rights. On behalf of the chair, therefore, I hand the microphone back to the Masters of Ceremonies to conduct this event with all the consciousness of time, which is written on the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your remarks. Thank you as well for agreeing to be the timekeeper of the segment we are going into now. This is the most important part of the program. I will soon be introducing the person who will introduce one of our guest speakers. Before then, let's recognize the presence of the Director of Abukans of ABU, Dr. Yahya Faharouk. Welcome. Let's also recognize in our midst the Dean of the School of Postgraduate Studies, Professor Nasiru Shuaibu. Having said that, let me invite to the podium Malam Aliu Karo, who will introduce Let me invite Aliu Karo to come and invite and make some remarks about our first keynote speaker, Dr. Danladi Bako. Aliu Karo, where are you? Invite the speaker, please. The chairman has requested that we make room for photographs. There will be segments of the photographs. Photographers, where are you? As that is going on, we'll be having a goodwill message by Professor Moriam Amino. Yes.
I bring this goodwill message from the president once again. He has requested me to contribute to donate the amount of 100,000 naira to the faculty for stationaries and all other things needed. That is from the ABU Alumni Association. That is his contribution to this. Thank you.
Thank you very much for understanding with us for the bleached. It's an honor to read a citation of an epitome of justice, humanity, and many more. Let me start with the personality, but they say I should be precise with the citation. I would like to introduce one of our speakers, the great mind in person of Dr. Danladi Bako, who was a graduate of Ahmadu Bello University in 1978. He then proceeded to University of Lagos to study mass communication, where he obtained a master's degree. Sir, if you wouldn't mind, can you be on your feet, sir? Thank you very much. Let me come back again. The person standing is no other person than Dr. Nasir Danladi Bako. He obtained his master's degree in University of Lagos in mass communication in 1981, where many of you have not come to exist. Can you please give him a round of applause for that? He decided to come back here again to do his Doctor of Philosophy, that's PhD, in Development Communication from 2015 to 2019, who we see as Dr. Nasir Danladi Bako. Can you please give me a round of applause? You know that it's not easy for someone to go to that extent and come back to obtain a PhD. Dr. Nasir Bako started working in 1973 as a reporter in Radio Nigeria, Sokoto, who before then he has worked in 1973 at a radio station in Sokoto called Rima Radio. I don't know whether some of you still remember Rima Radio, how vibrant the radio station was. Yeah. He rose to become a major producer, presenter at NTA Lagos from 1983 to 1994. He became Director General of the National Broadcasting Communication from 1999 to 2002. He holds the National Honor Officer of the Order of Nigeria. He is also a Kogunan Sokoto. Can you please meet our Dr. Nasir Danladi Bako? You're welcome, sir.
The most respected chairman of this occasion, Professor Haye, Ambassador to Mexico and High Commissioner to Canada, former minister, former senator, the representative of the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Sani, in his capacity, and the capacity of his representative of us, representative of the Vice Chancellor, the Dean of the Faculty of Arts, all other protocols observed, including the Alumni Association President. I used to appear on this same Assembly Hall stage in 1974. In some cases acting a drama, in some cases doing a debate, in some cases watching a South African musical group called Ipitombi in 1977. And in some cases, as a member of the ABU Jazz Club, people will pay 50 naira and stand outside there to watch us perform. Amazing, isn't it?
So everything that you've heard about Professor Haye and myself, every one of you here in the hall can even become bigger and better than us. The role of the youth in national development is the topic of this lecture. We're looking at areas of economy, security, and stability, as well as sustainability. The most inexorable and tangential nexus between the concept of youth and its role in development as a whole is the intricate, paradoxical nature of the relationship between both institutions. Without doubt, over centuries, indeed, from creation, the youth have always depended on society for growth and development from their infancy to adolescence to manhood. Within the same society, youths grew up challenging the status quo and in some cases become catalysts and vehicles for social change or even revolutions. Whatever typology of physical contribution, crisis, riots, or even international and regional wars, it is populated and driven by persons under the age of 15 and 40. Therefore, the role of the youth in development or even disintegration of any country is intertwined and intrinsically enmeshed in the cultural, sociological, and political disposition of the youths. Clearly, the youths rely on their parents and community to provide them with food, shelter, education, healthcare, and well-being right from birth. Yet, the same youths deliberately or inadvertently find themselves rebelling against the same social traditions, norms, and subcultures that they grew up in. It is therefore ironic that contributions to national development can be positive as well as negative. In the 19th century, the Prime Minister of Britain was a young man of less than 30 years old called Benjamin Disraeli. This was in 1886. Fast forward to 1967 in Nigeria, West Africa. A certain Lieutenant Colonel Kogunan became the head of state at the age of 32. Ditto for the present Senegalese president who won a general election earlier this year at the age of 44. The likes of Peter Edu, a suspended minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria, became a minister at the age of 37. While the late Rashid Badamoshi and late Ken Saro-Wiwa became commissioners in their states at the tender age of 29. Subsequently, leadership vacancies and other opportunities have become the way of the youth to get engaged and become tools for national development. What then is national development? Elugbe, 2016, espouses that national development refers, amongst other things, to the nation's growth in terms of unity, growth, education, economic well-being, and mass participation. For him, national development is a term that captures sustainable growth in the economy, security, and stability of the general populace and citizenry of the country, with emphasis on the human development and capacity utilization of its population. Kedora and Smith, 2009, identified 3 objectives of development as 1, increase availability and widen the raise the levels of income and protection of social values and norms. 3, to expand the range of economic and social choices available to individuals and nations, while also freeing them from ignorance and human being. These aforementioned goals remain the existential cause of friction, crisis, contestation of power, and the resources of the nation. Yet, they also are platforms and vehicles for transformation of any society. According to Coleman, 1958, in the 50s, the median age of 30 under 40 dominated the colonial legislatures of the Houses of Assembly of the former eastern region of Nigeria and that of the North, and was credited with electing the most youthful legislators and lawmakers in the country.
These youths at that time were challenged with the development of a nation preparing for its independence. Paradoxically, it was the same young officers between the ages of 29 and 35 that aborted the first republic in the military coup in toppling the democratically elected civilian regime of Nigeria. So the youth thus became development agents as well as destruction agents with the same country. For good measure, however, it was the youth that embarked on demonstration and strikes here in Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, in 1975 to compel and persuade the federal government of Nigeria to fight for the cause of majority black people in South Africa's apartheid regime. I was part of that gritty, intense campaign and struggle for the recognition of the African National Congress and provide moral, financial, and political support for the liberation movements all over Southern Africa, like MPLA in Angola, Frelimo in Mozambique, and ZANU in Zambia. We used to go to Savongeri to go and buy a drum of kerosene and handkerchiefs. Any day we were going out for demonstration, everybody soaked his handkerchief inside the kerosene so that when the police throw tear gas, we'll cover it on our eyes and the tear gas will not affect us. We did that for about 7 days. I was right inside. When you have the convocation square here was where we used to gather. By 3 a.m., the house leaders will go around all the halls. I was in Ixa Hall. Gather everybody by 4 a.m. We're outside here with our handkerchiefs, kerosene, to go march to the main road, block the main road, and begin to carry our placards by 6 a.m. Amazing, isn't it? We were fighting for a cause. We were focused about the development of our country. We were concerned about the people of South Africa. In that same area and time, we had professors like Bala Usman, Wang Metuge, Patrick Wilmot, Abdullahi Smith, and we also had President Thabo Mbeki, who come from Lagos, to come and inspire us in this same campus, in this same hall. In the pre-classical period, social theory showed the works of Confucius, Plato, while in classical times, it demonstrated in the works of Reformation philosophers like Durkheim and Karl Marx. The sociological imagination framework is based on understanding that individuals are central in shaping their environment, the way we did that time, rather than being determined by the environment. We did not allow the environment to dictate who we are. We chose to influence our environment, to make the environment succumb to our own desires and passion and impression of what Nigeria should be. As we speak, according to Costello, 2012, the construction of meaning in people's minds is more decisive and a more stable source of power, stability, and security, as well as the economy. According to Castell's 2012, this comes from the interactions between networking communication with the youth segment of society. Political mobilization and elections therefore use social theory to embark on mobilization of the youth. The hegemony within youth groups and their group identity, as well as the happenings within their immediate society and meaning, brings to fore, and it manifested in what we talked about and saw in Nigeria during the EndSARS crisis. I'm sure you remember that EndSARS took place. Those of us that are older than 40 and were not internet, we didn't realize that a lot of communication had been taking place on TikTok, on Instagram. We woke up one morning and discovered that there was a mass mobilization that had taken place. Group identity of the youths determine how to go. Likewise, President Barack Obama's election in the US, the youth mobilized themselves, using the social media to arrive at decisions to elect President Obama. And before anybody knew it, President Obama had become president. Means based on majority of mobilization, group identity, meaning, and social theory. That social theory made sure that the environment is dictated by the youth, not the youth being the environment is dictated by the youth and not the environment dictating what the youth should become. Therefore, the workforce of any country or nation is populated by youths who are not only doctors, engineers, craftsmen, and laborers. Both of them have a wide variety of Grammy Award-winning musicians, movie actors, ICT experts, social media influencers, media entrepreneurs, which now run into millions of Nigerian youth. Indeed, Nigeria is blessed and has been blessed, and her profile has increased internationally with the performances of upwardly mobile Nigerian musicians, raking 30 million hits on streaming platforms on the internet. Davido, Burna Boy, Rema, all come to mind. I'm sure you're surprised I know about Rema and Davido. One of the things, when I was invited to come, I asked that, why did they choose me, a 66-year-old man who graduated at the age of 20 in ABU? And I realized that I came into ABU when I was 16, School of Basic Studies, and I was in Ixa Hall, and graduated when I was 20, 1978, before my 21st birthday, September 1st, 1978, I graduated. So I graduated when I was 20. So I think the organizers felt this guy became something at the age of 20. That didn't just stop me. I became the Director General of NBC, National Broadcasting Commission, at the age of 41. But the person I took over from was 58. I won't be surprised if people inside this hall even do better than Professor Haye and myself. The economy has attracted the growth and development that it has acquired now in Nigeria with the youth, central to the upwardly mobile using social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and others, thereby creating wider cross-communication, interchange of ideas, knowledge, new ideas, and opportunities. When I was in second year, Dr. Ren Crow asked us to discuss existentialism as a philosophy. I had to travel from here to the British Council Library in Kaduna to go and research Encyclopedia Britannica. What is existentialism? And he used the word that day, something about surrealism. So I said, what is surrealism? There was a young boy who didn't bother about all that grammar. I mean, I just wanted to graduate. So they were telling me about existentialism, structuralism, surrealism, and all these things. So I said to myself, today you have internet. Don't use that TikTok to make money alone. Don't use that Facebook to make money alone. Go ahead and use internet as research tool. There are close to 49 million youths using the internet today, but a large part of them are bothered with, as I said, Ashake. They are training Hamisu Breaker. Yeah? And they are training Alinuhu. You can do a lot more research with your internet. You can make money. You can do so much more. The Nigerian state is literally under siege from bandits in the northwest, Boko Haram in the northeast, kidnapping in the north central and the southwest, while separatists and regionalists have overwhelmed the southeast. Sadly, about 80% of these criminals are between the age of 18 and 40 years, which essentially makes them youths and young men. The criminality of these youths in the country can be traced to so many factors, ranging from poor education, bad societal values, craze for wealth, the open glorification and canonization of identified criminals and men of noted misbehavior. All these are factors that have made criminality attractive. Here, the use of communication for social change is important. As an African proverb puts it, it is iron that you use to cut iron. Therefore, the youths are the answer and solution to these humongous challenges in society. It is not by accident that the government of Nigeria has started the recruitment of 10,000 new policemen, in addition to acquisition of ammunition for them. Of course, recruits are normally between 18 and 25. These are youths. It is estimated that 100,000 more youths will be recruited in the police, military, paramilitary forces in the next 10 years. Licenses will also be issued to entrepreneurs and educationists for more tertiary institutions and technical colleges, hoping that school enrollment and university education will be more readily available and accessible to the youths. Clearly, these are steps that will help to give the youths a sense of belonging. Even the national orientation is recreating a new lifestyle charter that is expected to help the moral upbringing of our youths, now popularly known as Gen Z. The process of cultural and social change can be tricky, sometimes especially in the challenge of discrimination and indoctrination, as witnessed by the recruitment of young men into Boko Haram criminality and the acts of suicide bombing recently in Borno State of Nigeria, where young girls participated in mass murder. Likewise, youths became instruments of activism positively, as witnessed in the last few weeks in Kenya, where they compelled the government to retract the finance bill sent to the Kenyan parliament. Finally, major stakeholders in society, such as traditional rulers, cannot fold their arms while youths embark on brigandage and societal dislodgement. Therefore, the supervision and engagement of households and household heads and family leaders must be taken seriously. And families, which are the core of the beginning of training, must make youths the center of the house rather than the passengers in the house. There are very many ways that we can tackle these problems. There must be intentional advocacy for improved value lifestyles within the academic institution and curricula of our primary and secondary schools, so that civic education, morals, discipline, punctuality, good etiquette can become part of our growing up system. When a child grows up to become a 20-year-old and you see him with the saggy trousers and dreadlocks, it is possible that from the home, the mother did not see him when he was going out. If the mother saw him, even if the father accepts, the mother should be able to say, where are you going? If you're going to a nightclub, the dress code is different. If you're going to classes, the dress code should be different. If you're going to the street, the dress code should be different. Westernization came with their concepts of civilization comprising of such traits as nuclear family and individual rights, masking such debasing subcultures as homosexuality and transgender values. It has become commonplace to see cross-dressers and lesbians openly use the social media platforms to ply their trade and misdirect youths. The Nigerian youths have brought pride and glory to through music of Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Davido, through sports and athletics of Toby Amusan, the 100 meters hurdles, 110 meters hurdles Olympian, and the Super Eagles, and the Super Falcons, and our wrestlers. We cannot allow a few bad eggs to tarnish the image of the country and become greater threats to our security. Nigerian youths must utilize their energies and deploy them to the national development which they are supposed to be part of, because 60% of Nigeria's 200 million population are under the age of 40. The future belongs to them. And you heard the chairman said to you that today you are not leaders of tomorrow. You are leaders and partners today. So I do hope that some of you will be standing here in future, not future, in fact, as I'm going to mean future, I mean in the next 1 year, to do a speech the way I am doing now. Nigerian youths, after all, the truth is that they will all grow old one day. And all those that destroyed the society while they were young and youths will eventually have to live in that same destroyed society. Those who build this country will enjoy their old age in a developed, likable, enjoyable, and prosperous country in their old age. Thank you very much.
You can do better. You can do better. Please, let's appreciate him once again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Life is very simple and life is complex. It's as simple as you look at it and as the way you treat it. Some of us don't want to appreciate these presences. A philosopher once said, if reading is to the mind, what exercise is to the body? For some of us that are on social media and we don't, or we cannot afford to read, as some of the dignitaries we have here today, the least we could do is to come to gatherings like this so that we can enjoy from their travels and their experiences. We could be educated just by listening. Let's once again appreciate our first speaker. For those of us that will be having questions, we'll beg you to keep them, note them. After we take the second speaker, we're going to have all of that. But right now, permit me to invite Mrs. Hadiza Ilyasu to the podium. And she is going to be reading the citation of our second speaker in the person of Mrs. Habiba Mohammed. Can we please appreciate Mrs. Habiba as she comes for her citation? We want you to have a stand here, Mrs. Habiba, please.
Thank you very much. We'd like to welcome a great woman. Habiba Mohammed is a woman of great integrity. She's the co-director and team leader of Center for Girl Child Education, Zaria. Center for Girls Education is a civil society organization helping to delay the age of marriage in rural communities by reducing social and economic barriers, female schooling, and providing group-based mentoring and support. Habiba's profound interest in working with the marginalized has led her to work with adolescent girls for several years in safe spaces in rural communities, where she offers mentored and tutored support. She has facilitated and spoken in many conferences, seminars, and workshops, both in Nigeria and abroad. Habiba is listed in the 2019 Apolitical World 100 Most Influential People in Gender Policy. Mrs. Habiba is a graduate of English literature and has a professional diploma in education and higher diploma in guidance and counseling, all obtained from the great Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Mrs. Habiba Mohammed is married with children. Well, welcome, ma'am. And grandchildren.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Good morning, everyone. All protocols duly observed. I am honored to be here today to discuss the crucial role of youth in national development, focusing on the economy, security, and stability or sustainability. As I was introduced, my name is Habiba Mohammed, and I serve as the director of the Center for Girls Education, which is a non-governmental organization empowering young girls in northern Nigeria through education and life skills training. At the Center for Girls Education, we implement programs for 3 to 24-year-old youth, and those youth are girls. And these girls are from rural and peri-urban communities in northern Nigeria. And we support other organizations to do the same in Nigeria and southern Niger Republic. The programs implemented at our center include preschool safe spaces for 3 to 6-year-old girls. We support these girls in communities where they will never have had the opportunity to go to a preschool, for them to have backgrounds so that when they move to public, they can be able to navigate their ways and continue learning. We have another project which we call the Pathways to Choice, which is for the out-of-school girls. We support these out-of-school girls with safe spaces in their communities and then enroll them back to school so that they will be able to at least graduate, complete at least 12 years of school. We support married adolescent girls that were married early between the ages of 14 to 16 or 24. What we do with these girls is to support them with safe spaces in their communities, and then we work with their husbands so that we will be able to have consent for them to be in our program, and we are able to enroll them back to school or to support them with vocational skills. We have another program we call the Cascading Mentors Project. This project is a second chance program for girls who have gone through our programs and were not able to make the minimum requirements for admission into tertiary institutions. We support them to be able to rewrite their exams, and then we seek for admission for them into a tertiary education of their choices. Then we have the Girls for Education and Health Project. This Girls for Education and Health Project is supporting girls in senior secondary schools 2 and 3 in public schools for them to be able to work well through the student-centered learning approach so that they will be able to do well in their English, maths, physics, chemistry, biology. What we want for these girls is to be able to write without this issue of miracle center, for them to gain admission into tertiary institution in all the STEM subjects of their choice, especially the one that has to do with health, nursing, medicine, pharmacy, and the like. And we have another project we call the apprenticeship-based vocational training. We support girls to be able to learn different vocations in this trade. And what they do mostly is to learn in their community. We open shops for them. We partner with other organizations like ISAF, like PZ, for us to be able to ensure that they are able to learn the skills that they desire. We have girls that are learning electrical, electronics, phone repairs, poultry, and the like. Then we have another project we call the Adolescent Girls Initiative. For these girls, we work with girls in primary schools, primary 6, and we provide them with safe spaces in their communities, and we ensure transition to secondary school. We follow them up to ensure retention and completion also. And then we have the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, which is the Agile project. We work to provide safe spaces, that is supporting girls with life skills in their schools so that they will be able to continue school and then transition to tertiary institutions. And we have leadership trainings too for our cascading mentors and interns that are working in our organization. Our work is to improve access to education, especially quality education. And for us to support girls in northern Nigeria to ensure enrollment, retention, and completion of secondary school, promoting smooth transition from adolescent to adulthood. With the story of Amina, a girl from one of our communities who will never have had the opportunity to go to secondary school, is now a university graduate of biology education and presently works as a staff in CGE. This aligns with the United Nations Sustainability Development Goal 4, quality education. Now, for youth and economic development, the youths are the backbone of society and any economy. Their energy, innovation, and willingness to learn make them indispensable in driving economic growth. At the Center for Girls Education, we have seen firsthand how empowering young girls through education and vocational training can lead to significant economic benefits. For instance, our apprenticeship-based vocational training program has enabled many girls to acquire skills in various trades, e.g. phone repairs, as I said earlier, shoemaking, tailoring, poultry, and the likes, allowing them to start their own businesses and become financially independent. This not only improves their lives, but also contribute to the local economy. We should consider the story of one of our girls, who is Aisha, a beneficiary of our program, who after receiving training in tailoring, started her own tailoring business. Today, she employs several other young women, creating a ripple effect of economic empowerment in her community. And this also aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Goal 8, decent work and economic growth. Then youth and security. Education plays a pivotal role in ensuring security of a nation. When young people are educated and engaged, they are less likely to turn to crime or be influenced by extremist ideologies. Our life skills program at the Center for Girls Education, which covers topics like self-esteem, communication, negotiation skills, gender-based violence information, nutrition, and adolescent sexual and reproductive health, equip girls with knowledge and critical thinking skills needed to make life choices, to make positive life choices. Through our Safe Space initiative, we provide a secure environment where girls can learn, share their experiences, and build supportive networks. This sense of community and belonging is crucial in preventing negative behaviors, e.g. issues of Boko Haram, kidnapping, and all the other insurgencies, and fostering fostering a sense of responsibility among youth. By addressing these issues, we contribute to Sustainable Development Goal 16, which says peace, justice, and strong institutions. Youth and stability, or sustainability, as it is. National stability is closely linked to empower the empowerment of youth. Educated and empowered young people are more likely to become leaders, as we can see from the leaders we have at the high table today. These leaders, they become leaders and active participants in their communities. They can advocate for positive change and hold leaders accountable, not through strikes, but through respective dialogues. At the Center for Girls Education, we focus on developing leadership qualities among young girls, preparing them to take roles that can influence their communities and the country positively. Our Girls for Education and Health project is a testament to this. By combining education with health awareness, we are not only improving the immediate well-being of our beneficiaries, but also laying foundation for a more stable and healthy future. Empowered young girls become women who can lead families and communities toward progress, aligning with Sustainable Development Goal 5, which is gender equality. For this issue of gender equality, I always tell my girls that when you are ready to get married, marriage does not stop you from going to school, and school does not stop marriage. What we want is continuous learning, lifelong learning for every girl wherever she is. When I enrolled into the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria in 1990, I was pregnant with my first baby. He is 33 years old too, and also an alumni of the Ahmadu Bello University. One of my lecturers here is Dr. Edward Abba. And I am proud to be associated with him because he is one of my very honorable lecturers here. Alan Rabi Isa was one of our lecturers too during those days. In conclusion, the youth are not just the future of our nation, they are the present. Just as the last speaker said, investing in their education and empowerment is investing in stability, security, and economic growth of our country. At the Center for Girls Education, we are committed to this cause, and we have seen the transformative power of our programs. Presently, we are working with the Kaduna State government to ensure systems change by institutionalizing the life skills component into the system in all our primary and secondary schools. This will go a long way in producing positive thinking students that will be admitted into our tertiary institutions and supporting youth with skills to enhance Nigerians' economic development, security, and stability. I urge all stakeholders, that is government, traditional institutions, religious institutions, the private sectors, the civil societies, you and me, to join hands in supporting initiatives that empower our youth. Together, we can create a brighter, more stable present and future for all. Thank you for your attention.
You may have your seats. Thank you for the recognition you've shown Mrs. Habiba Mohammed. We've had two very stimulating papers that spoke to the theme of this symposium. Let's look at our program and look at the theme, the role of youths in national development, economy, security, and sustainability. I'm very sure that the two papers spoke clearly to this, to the core issues in the theme of the symposium. We are going to take questions from the audience and those at the high table, as the case is. In no particular order, just direct your questions to either of them, and they will answer the question accordingly. So we'll go around with the microphone. Yes, the first person there. Let's go straight to the point.
Thank you very much. My name is Isa, Department of Archaeology and Heritage Studies. After listening to the first presentation and looking at the current economic realities of this country, the youths are sending message using the social media, as we said, and we are asked to come out and at least show our own concern on the dilapidating situation of our economy. People are hungry, and some older people, as you call yourself, are now saying that protest is not the only solution. Shouldn't come out and destroy the nation. But from your own examples, I realized that you were able to achieve a lot through protests. And you didn't cite any reference, you only cited reference with Kenya. And I know you are very much aware of the messages going around the social media about the protests we are trying to embark or about to embark on Monday. And you didn't say anything about it. So I don't know whether in the case of Nigeria, protest is being suppressed and in Kenya is good or something like that. I don't know what will be your opinion and suggestion for us who are coming out on Monday to protest. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's take more questions. Our guest speakers noted the question. Awareness.
Good morning, members of the high table. Good morning, members of the audience. My question is, I don't know, possibly any of the speaker could answer it, but we believe that as African youth, especially in Nigeria, we have youths that are endowed with skills, innate talents, and aside from educational acquirement, either as BSc or any other academic title they can hold, they have skills and they might not be open to education. And we all know that, especially in Africa, all of our problems are always directed to the government. Now, we agree that there's no sustainable platforms for all of these people to thrive. And this has massively or hugely contributed to the Japa syndrome, that people want to go out there to explore where they have platforms for all of these to thrive. My question is, what are those that are the helm of affairs doing to create that conducive platforms where even if you don't have education, you don't have paper qualification, or you have these innate skills, you have this innate talent, what are these platforms that can allow you thrive and allow you contribute to national development with your skills? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any further comments, questions? Yes.
May the peace and blessing of Allah be upon you. I had it, as I had it from so many different sources, that youths are trying to come out for protest. My question here is that, and I would like this question directly to move to the sixth speaker, which is in the person of Dr. Nasir Danladi Bako. What are you going to say pertaining this protest in comparison to the protest that you experienced during your time? Thank you.
We'll make time for the speakers to respond to the questions. Okay, let's take one final one.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Habiba Mohammed. I want to know about this center. She talks about where is the center located. We can get to know, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Mrs. Habiba, somebody wants to know where the center is located and all that. And let me contribute to that as well. how do you recruit the young girls? Your visibility, let's be sure how you do the recruitment and get in touch with those prospective girls that you mentor. Yeah.
Our office is located at GRA, close to Professor Ango Abdullah's residence, not very far from there. And for the recruitment of girls, we work with community and religious leaders as gatekeepers of every community that we work in. We get grants to do this work, and most of our donors are foreign donors, the MacArthur Foundation, the Ford Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the UNFPA, and the Canadian government, and the World Bank. So what we do is, depending on what we want or the project we are implementing, we give the community and religious leader the criteria of girls that we will be working with. That is for the out-of-school girls or the married adolescents. But for the in-school girls, we work with the Ministry of Education, SUBEB, and the local government education authority to go into the schools and recruit these girls in their normal classes. That is how we get them. And for every girl that we work with, there must be a signed consent by her parents or guardians that she will be in the program. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Emanuela. Is it related to Madam Habiba's paper? Okay.
Good morning, Ma. A beautiful presentation. I would like to inquire if there are special needs girls involved in what you do. And if they are, I don't know if there are special care or schools for them.
We'll take Madam Habiba's response, and then Dr. Danladi Bako will respond to the question.
So in the work we do, it is very inclusive. We work with girls with disability. And these girls, we don't work with them in their special schools because mostly in the community, you find out that these girls are girls that parents don't even want them to come out, be part of the community or society. So we try as much as possible to get these girls, ensure that we are able to support them with what they will need. For example, those that cannot walk, we try to get them wheelchairs that will support them. And we try as much as possible to see how in the process of our as possible. And we're working with Kaduna State government to ensure that these girls are considered into the STEM education. They should be supported so that we will have girls with disabilities that are nurses, doctors, and the like. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take more questions. Go to the back, please.
Of the greatest Nigerian students, of the greatest alumnus, please give to me fundamental vote to the chairman of this occasion. First of all, I'd like to appreciate the efforts of the keynote speakers. Their presentation have touched almost all aspects of life. But what caught my attention the most is the issue of leadership. Some of the questionnaires have made a caution about whether the youth should look out and protest against the instability and security of this country. But no matter the effort being put forward, if we don't have good leadership, all our efforts will end up in vain. One of the speakers had made an example of America. When Obama was contesting for president, it was the youth that mobilized behind him and made him president. And we all have seen his achievements in the history of not only America, but the world in general. If we can compare his administration and that of Biden and Donald Trump, the differences will all be cleared. Obama was elected in his early 40s. Biden was elected in his late 70s, and likewise Trump. So now I want us to relate the scenarios with what is happening in Nigeria. In the previous administration, it was Buhari who was elected in his early 70s as well. And we have all seen what he did to the country, not for the country. And before Buhari, it was who? Jonathan, who was only in his early 40s.
Hello.
Sorry, sir. 1 minute.
Wait.
Sorry, sir. I want.
Wait. When you have a lecture, you should advertise it. We'll come for the lecture. Ask your question.
All right, thank you, sir. My question.
Any further questions?
My name is Famaki Abdulwasi. Thank you very much to the speakers. Lectures are very insightful. So my question is, before going to the question, it's obvious to all and sundry that youth play a prominent role in national development. So, SARS, you have achieved a lot. But during your days, it's obvious that you had it good, because there are so many certain incentives that we are giving to you then, and we don't have it now, presently. So I want you to, not like a motivational speech, but you should try to encourage the youth more that despite the tough times, if you focus on yourself and your personal development, you can make headway in life. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Do we have any further question? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my question goes to Madam Ali regarding the Centers for Girls' Child. I don't know if there are opportunities for volunteers in one.
Last question, I think. Okay, last question.
Good evening, good afternoon. My question is, I am impressed with the selection of the speakers. Dr. Bako is from media, and Hajia Habiba has her foundations in education. Changing the lives of the next generation, of the youth, which we are here to address. So I think it is very important for them to also address the unique challenges that there are various pathways present in addressing a systemic change. Because what we need is a system change. Because we cannot continue the way we are. We are heading in a direction that nobody knows. The majority of your projects are cited. There are certain unique challenges that this girl child faces. There are various barriers. How are you helping them overcome these barriers and achieving a more inclusive growth? Thank you very much.
Nice to have you around, Damisa. Damisa is an alumnus as well of the English and Literary Studies Department. She left AP in the 90s or early 2000. Okay, welcome. This is time for Dr. Danladi to respond to a number of questions. This is Habiba coming at last. Give him the microphone, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Appa. These are very challenging times. The setting, I was discussing with Dr. Emmanuel Ghana and Professor Aye, the setting that provided the literature, Thomas Hardy in the Mayor of Casterbridge, where he sold his wife at a market because of hard time. That setting is far from what the 21st century setting is today. But the trajectory are almost in the same direction, but a slightly different tangent. I say this because what is happening all over the world, there's an economic crisis all over the world, all over the world. The price of petrol, all sorts of things that have risen up and have created hardships. Even those that go abroad, many of them write you back and tell you that the grass is not as green as they thought. So that realization makes you feel, one, why you're preparing for a demonstration or coming out to the streets. I remember that in 1975, after the anti-apartheid demonstrations, 1976, the demonstration by the way, the 4 years that I was in ABU, there was demonstration every year. It was regular. 76 was Akintunde Ojo. 77 was Kunle Adepeju. 78 was Adi Must Go. I was part of all of them. The focus was different. One, the Ali Must Go was basically internal matters of university. What you have today is a general worldwide economic crisis. Countries that have gone into depression twice. Some of them are just returning from recession. Recession has taken place in England, South Africa, Ghana. Recession because of the quality of living that has dropped drastically. I would ask that while you prepare, there is no law. Whatever happens in Nigeria, it's for people to show discontent. There's provision for you to show how you feel. But the ways and means you use are the issue. If you are going to prepare for a demonstration and you are sure that it will not be hijacked by gangsters and area boys, then you are free to do so. The law provides for you to show discontent. But in our own time, there were no area boys anyhow, so nobody hijacked our demonstrations. The situation today, the area boys and those who are discontented about the present government, if they had been the ones that are in power, they probably wouldn't encourage demonstration. So it's like that in both ways. So two things here. I'm combining this with the second and third question. First of all, has the government done enough to address challenges? Have you asked yourself, as at 2 years ago, when there was subsidy, the issues of monies, Kaduna State, for instance, will get about 8 billion naira. After the removal of subsidy, their monies increased by about 40%. So Kaduna State will get about 10 to 12 billion now, as against 6 to 8 billion. Have you asked what the governors are doing with the money? Have you asked where those monies are going to? They have more money now because every state now gets 40% extra than the monies it used to. Yet, have they done enough? I came to do my PhD in 2015, and I went to ICSA Hall. I almost cried because my room in ICSA Hall was full of junk. When I was here in 1974, we were 2 in a room. My colleague, my roommate was a medical student, David Sinotioto from Bayelsa. I was in School of Basic Study and I went to do first year. Every Wednesday, they will come and collect our laundry, wash them and bring them back on a Sunday. They will collect, all you needed to do was gather all your laundry, put them outside your door. They will collect them, wash them, and bring them back. And at that time, our feeding, we had in the buffet, we call them buffet that time, you paid 25 kobo for your meal, and your meal was rice and chicken and custard and cake. And if you were a senior boy or Ansarki and you had Sarauta waiting for you, you asked them to bring the food to your room. So they will bring the food to your room and come and collect the plates later. So some of those things are things we enjoy. Professor Aye has said it. A few others have said it. We're trying to make sure that the creation of TED Fund has renovated so many things around this compound. But we can still do better. I'll go back to my text, which I read. Inside that text, on page 2, I listed some of the things that government has done and some of the things that government are trying to do. I couldn't go through all of it because of, I said, encouraged by the peace and trust that has been shown by the public. The federal government of Nigeria has taken notice and cognizance of the capacity and capabilities of the youth. It has launched a 100 billion naira residential launch youth initiative and provided another 100 billion at Youth Development Fund for ICT and creative industry. I also said in this same page, page 3, that the Youth Development Bank has been provided with another 100 billion. That's 300 billion altogether for the youth. I also said, similarly, the students in tertiary institutions are now entitled to a student loan scheme. Right now, the target is 1.3 million students every year. You ask yourself, is government doing anything or they're not doing anything? These are the things I know government has done. Done it because the bank is there, the initiative is there, the NEL Fund is there. There's a chairman of NEL Fund now for the students' loan scheme that is former MD and chairman of Zenith Bank, Jim Ovia. And there is a guy that graduated from Harvard University first class, Wabo, who is the chief executive of NEL Fund. So you can apply, get a loan, pay after over 30 years at graduation. I think that is progress somehow. But back to the question. If you do choose to go out on Monday, please make sure you keep the area boys away from it and keep bandits away from your demonstration. Keep terrorists away from your demonstration. Keep IPOP away from the demonstration. There are so many ways you can do your demonstrations without allowing it to be hijacked. That's my advice. But demonstrations are legal, protests are legal. Just do them the right way, you'll be safe. There has to be, in fact, in many countries, the police escort you when you're doing your demonstration. They're on your side. So you carry your placards, police on this side, you go together. Don't start fighting that police. Just go where you're going, spend a lot of hours in the sun, do everything you need to do. When you're tired, you go back home. So I took the questions, I took question 1 and the way forward, question 4. I took that question and combined them together. Systemic change. Systemic change. One of you asked about systemic change. As a young man, when I took over as Director General of the NBC, there were 36 state stations, radio and TV, 72. I went to ITU, made sure we got frequencies, network frequency, and increased our spectrum. It was a battle because spectrum is very, very expensive. And made sure that the spectrum covering Nigeria provides for us to have, today, we have about 800 radio and TV stations. 800. Because I had a focus, I knew what I wanted to do. It is those 800 stations that you listen to that have provided employment for about 50,000 mass comm graduates. It is those radio stations that play the music of Davido all over the world, and you can get 30 million streams on his internet. And they are making money from their streaming, and you are carrying placards. They are making money. Every one of them on TikTok, they're making money. Your content on TikTok, the moment you make it, they will say, come out, come out. Wait, there's a threshold. If you hit that threshold, they will pay you. So just think clearly while you plan what you want to do in life. As I said, those of you who want to carry on the career of broadcasting or media or journalism, I will be available to mentor you and carry you on. I've done that all my years in Lagos. I'll close just now. All my years in Lagos and NTA Victoria Island, when the syndrome of area boys just started, I knew, in my research, I was doing a story about area boys, and I discovered they had an association, one around the Onikon Stadium, one around the National Stadium, one at Maryland. I gathered all of them and sat with them, and every Saturday afternoon, I would sit with them and begin to work on their mentality to drop drugs. At that time, it was freebasing that was reigning. You know freebasing? Freebasing is when you put your cocaine on a spoon and put a lighter under it and inject in yourself. It was 1990. It was rampant in Lagos. I reformed these guys personally. Four of them are put in Nigeria's football supporters club so that they can burn their energy and be clapping. You know when they're playing football match and you see supporters club, they burn a lot of energy to burn out that cocaine in their system. And eventually, four of them were registered as members of football supporters club. They went with the Super Eagles to USA 94. I got them visas, I got them passports, as long as they assured me that they had reformed. And I realized they had reformed and they had dropped drugs. And they went to the USA as members of supporters club. So all the time you saw them playing in USA 94, these guys were the motivation in the crowd. Today, 3 of them have taxis in Houston, Texas. One in Florida, another one in Tallahassee. Area boys. I tell you, the chairman of Unicon Stadium was called Santos. The one in National Stadium was called Obodo. The one in the Maryland one was Sharpshooter. And I reformed all of them. We have a duty to mentor. We don't have enough time to mentor people today. A lot of us are busy doing other things. We don't mentor enough people. One of my greatest attributes, mentoring. And all the people I gave radio licenses and TV licenses and all the places I have worked, part of my desire in life. I have no points to prove. I have a national honor. In fact, I was crazy enough to say that I must get my national honor before I'm 50. That's to tell you how focused I was. And I got it when I was 49, Officer of the Order of Niger. So there has to be focus. And I want to appeal to you. I think government knows what we're facing. And part of my duty as part of somebody who knows the president will be to encourage them more than they're doing right now. I just know that, like as I said, student loan scheme for me is something. 100 billion for youth development bank is something. Access to capital. All of these things are fair enough. Now, even the credit corporation that was created, credit corporation is for you to get loans to buy your normal things, cars, houses, etc. When I graduated in 1978, after my NYSC 79, had 5 jobs. One NTA Sokoto, Offer BBC, NTA Lagos, UBA, and which one again? 5 of them. I took NTA Sokoto, which was the least paying also looking for the money. I wanted a place where I can show my skills. You know, if I went to NTA Lagos, I won't get space to appear on air. They will just sideline me. If I went to BBC, I won't come back again to this country because so I made sure that I stayed. I want you to be focused. Professor Haye is here. He will do everything he can to mentor those of you who, as I said, the Bobrisky, all these people, Mobi Kubana, they have directed their attention to other things instead of the real national development. So be careful when you plan all the things. Be careful when you're planning your life. Be careful how you plan your outing one day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bako. Give the mic to Mrs. Habiba. I think there was a question that was directed to her.
I think the question on whether we volunteer at the Center for Girls Education, yes, we do. And it depends on the grants that we have that we are able to recruit volunteers. Some of the students from this Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, volunteer with us at the Center for Girls Education. For your question, can you take it again? Why our focus is mainly on girls is because of the major challenges that we know, especially here in northern Nigeria. We know about this issue of early marriage, issue of poverty, issue of not having quality in education. In one of the research conducted by the Center for Girls Education, a mother had 2 daughters. She sent one to school and refused to send the second. When she was asked why, she said, I sent my first child for 6 years to primary school, but she cannot read and write. I will not send my second daughter. So I believe that what our high-table guests here had during their time was quality education. That was what made all these professors here and all those that are here with us today. But when we look at equality now in education, it is nothing to write home about. And that is why at the Center for Girls Education, we support girls to go to school and stay in school. How do we do that? By ensuring that these girls are able to understand what they are being taught. We recruit the teachers from public school. We train them in the student-centered learning approach. And we try to ensure that they understand that they are not just teachers, they are mentors to these girls, so that they will be able to support them physically, mentally, psychologically, and the rest, for these girls to be able to understand the learning and be able to do better. In one of our programs, the Cascading Mentors program, we had a girl that has autism. And this girl now was able to gain admission into the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, to read medicine. And it was because she was able to go through our training and retraining. She sat for her WAEC the first time. She did not make her papers. But when she went through the training, and one of our really key thing in the center is that you don't beat our girls, you don't use vulgar language on them, you appreciate them, you make them understand that they are people that need to be cherished. And this is giving them a sense of belonging, sense of understanding that yes, they have self-esteem and they can be who they want to be in life. And for us, we are not just working to support the girl child. We are looking at the boys too. We have the boys as our allies. And most of our girls from the rural community will say, Mama, if you educate me, will I go back to my community and marry the 3/4? Or should I go and marry the person that has never gone to school or had any type of education? So it is not just the girl child, it is both the girl and the boys, and the girls and the boys, and it is youth in their entirety. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Habiba Mohammed. Thank you, guest speakers, including Dr. Danladi Bako. They've been very forthcoming, as we've seen. One of the things they've done openings and opportunities that we can key in and then make the best use of. We'll get their respective addresses. I think we'll get their email addresses so that you can get in contact with them if you need to follow up on some of the promises they've made. If you want to be supporting Nigeria at the next World Cup, if we qualify, you need to get in touch with Dr. Danladi Bako so that you'll be there when the World Cup is being played. I'll soon be handing over the microphone to the chairman to make concluding remarks. Before I do that, let me recognize the presence of Professor Balarabe, Director of DRS Futua. We have a number of our colleagues who came into MQ Ali, Professor, former Director of Advancement, who is here as well. And then our colleagues from NAL and the other professors who are here. Please welcome. Whoever has not been recognized, please, we really appreciate your presence, and we are not taking it for granted. I will do one ritual for 1 minute and then hand over to the chairman of the occasion. Those who graduated from ABU, remember this is an alumni program, between 1970 and 80, should please stand up to be recognized. Let's put our hands together for them. These are our ancestors. Yes, living ones. Those who graduated between 1981 and 1990 should stand up to be recognized. You may take your seats. You may take your seats. Those who graduated from 1991 to year 2000, please stand up to be recognized. What a coincidence. Only 2 ladies, no male. Yes, 3 ladies. 1991 to year 2000. Congratulations. Those who graduated from 2001 to 2010, please stand up to be recognized. Congratulations. Take your seats. Those alumni of ABU between 2011 and 2020. Very well then. Thank you so much. Have your seats. 2021 to 2023. We don't have any. Your time is coming. Congratulations. We are happy to have our students here too. I'm sure when next this kind of announcement is made, you'll be ready to stand up to be recognized. Let me at this point thank all of you for your patience. The alumni officer of the faculty, Rabi Issa, will make his remarks as a way of closing the ceremony. But at this point, I'm handing over the mic to our distinguished chairman, Professor Yobe Sihaye, for his remarks.
May we give our speakers another round of applause. I personally feel this has been one of the most important events that have taken place in this hall that I have attended. 2 reasons. There has been a demographic shift at Ahmadu Bello University. I took a census personally of the attendees, and I am overwhelmed with joy. May all the ladies stand up. All the ladies kindly stand up. Please sit down. There is a world revolution that is taking place. And I had wondered how this revolution was going to play out in Nigeria, especially from my part of Nigeria, from northern Nigeria. I am very happy to see that our women are not lagging behind anymore. Any society that oppresses its women will not make much progress because they are half of our humanity. Men are out there as bandits, out there as youth insurgents. They're out there even when they graduate. They do not have social skills and vision to attend events as important as the one we have here today. So I am saying why I'm happy with the women. And we are worried if we're not careful, we'll soon be struggling for men liberation in this country. And it's not going to be funny because once the women have the chance, they will not give you any opportunity to do it. You've oppressed them for too long. And then I would have been justified in having written the play Ulkin Matter. I wish to just summarize key takeaways from this conference. Dr. Danladi Bako, OON, his message to you, the youth, is all the youth that destroy our country who are sowing their wild wings today, who are sowing the wild wing. You are going to reap, you are going to reap a tornado. Whatever bad you are sowing today, time for harvest won't come before you know it. I do not feel any way older than I was when I was sitting here and graduated in 1974. Time runs very fast. We do not want time. We cannot change it, but we can waste it. And when we waste time, when we have no vision, when we have no focus, when you don't have a personal vision for what you want to do with your life. Each showed you a personal example, various stages of his life, each clearly shown a focus on what he intended to do. That is what you learn. He also said the problems of the country can all be solved by you. We have played our part. We have imparted what we were given. because we acquired what we ought to acquire by getting a sound education and not stopping at acquiring education from this university. We were taught how to think critically. And from that critical thinking, we created our own environment. We created a new mind. We created and thought without any boundaries, because it is no longer the fashion when people say, I want to think out of the box. Don't think out of the box. Think as if there is no box, because truly there is no box anymore in the world we are faced with today. He has told us that you can invest your time, develop your mind, and construct meanings. A construction of meaning that will determine for you what you should demonstrate for or against. And talking about demonstration, it is not only demonstrating against that is a voice. You can also demonstrate for something that is good. I want to thank Dr. Danladi Bako for this very special intervention in the lives of our young alumni, and at this university, investing his time and providing himself available to further mentor those of you who are coming behind. Mrs. Habiba Mohammed, you made my day today. I have cited on this platform before. I had an opportunity to address Northern Nigerian senators a few years ago and governors of Northern Nigeria, and I referred my lamentation, the book that I had written in the year 2012, Nigeria After the Nightmare, in which I was bemoaning the situation of the northern girl child. And I used my sister example. While people were graduating, women were graduating and becoming medical doctors and teachers and achieving a lot in the South, as is still happening. Where I grew up, was taught that it was a good thing for the boy to get an education, for the woman to get married quickly. So my elder sister was married off just when she was getting ready to go to secondary school at the age of 12. A man who was 40 years old, because the man was going to be ordained as a pastor, and he was single. He didn't marry the best girl with the highest morals from the best family, he might not qualify to be ordained as a pastor. Sister was married off. My sister stayed in marriage less than 11 years before she lost her husband, and she became a widow for 60 years of her life. She became dependent on me joyfully because I knew I owed her. I could not intervene because I was still a child too. But after I graduated, I rounded up all my other sisters who were married and pulled them out of their marriages, put them back to school. And all of them graduated. So, when I repeated my video story, I said, Northern girl child is the most oppressed human being area. Because even a leper, a blind leper, who is totally the most lowest creature, human consciousness, in the world is often rated higher than the girl child because the girl is the one that leads him around the street to beg. He provides for him, and often this girl will end up being abused, this same blind beggar. So after painting this story, I challenged each of the governors to go and make a difference in their state. And one of the governors was so moved, said, I ask you a question. What do I do? I go on with this radical improvement of the girl's status in my state, and one illiterate madam gets up and challenges me in a public preaching and declares me an infidel. I lose election. Not being able to answer him until today. The answer is Habiba. Habiba, thank you very much for a leadership innovator, for a radical change agent. Thank you for transforming the destiny of northern Nigerian girls. One of the things that excited me about your paper was the fact that when it came to gender, you said that you cannot do it without the men. Truly, all women who are thumping their chest or who are abandoning their chest or ignoring their chest and saying, it's us, we are liberated, we don't need men. You are wasting your time. We all must come together and improve the lot of humanity, not just the women, but the lot of the Nigerian youth. So, I agree with the two presenters that your destiny is in your hands. Nigeria's destiny is also in your hands. And finally, we accept that we will mentor you, but also you will mentor us. Because we're in the age of reverse mentoring. We don't know how you are thinking. We want to know what you think. And together with you, we will all make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Oh, I'm not the MC. We are going to have a small presentation by the chairman of the occasion with the Vice Chancellor. Mr. Chairman, sir.
When I was coming here, the Vice Chancellor, I knew that something significant in my life took place. I became 75 years old. Now I wish I had cut the cake here. We all shared it. But instead of celebrating it by cutting cake, I wrote 3 books. I wrote 3 new books. First book that I wrote is called English Language and Its Discontents. The Vice Chancellor has said about the state of English language in Nigeria. The English language has been one of our major oppressors. The English language has ability to become a great liberator. This book will explain what I mean. Please, the Vice Chancellor, I wrote this book on behalf, give voice to the over 120 million non-English speakers of this country. Those who are saying bad Turanchi, I wrote it on their behalf. Please, sir, we the English speakers were oppressing people. Let us know why we are doing so and what can we do to make the English language of liberation, because English has become the foremost global language all over the world. Chinese in it, the French has receded, Spanish has receded. We must do something. Second book is called Leading Africa Out of Chaos. I was impressed with one of the younger professors who sat at the back, the student who wanted to give us a lecture. And as chairman, I had to stop him and wanted to invite us to come back, and we listened to him gladly. One thing he said that was exciting is the issue of leadership. Truly, people who, lions that are led by sheep are no longer lions. They are sheepish lions, and they will do nothing. We, this country, have the greatest manpower. We have enormous potential. We have credible natural resources. And of course, if these are harnessed by good leadership, the leadership I want is leadership that does not take its instruction from any other person than the sensibilities of being Nigerians. This is what this book is about, Leading Africa Out of. Last book gave me a lot of pain to write. Title is Beyond Ethnic Grievance, Cognitive Crisis. Nigeria crippling under ethnic grievance, what I have recently discovered as racist, ethnic racism. This is what this book describes. And it's not our fault. We inherited much of this racism from the British that came, instigated one tribe against the other, created disparate regions, made us enemies of one another, made the tribes for us to think that we're tribal people. Nigeria is failing the rest of the world because we have not developed a Nigerian consciousness. Smaller countries like Ghana, when you go there, they are Ghanaians. Go to Rwanda, we are Rwanda. If South Africa is able to unite around a racist angle, what can Nigeria do? This book gives you a template of how to solve our tribal mentality and ethnic racism.
I received this gift of important books from distinguished chairman. And as we indicated, clearly a committed alumnus of this university will deliver these books, and the Vice Chancellor will send you a proper acknowledgement. Thank you very much.
Professor Edward Abba, the MC, has done part of what I was going to do. thanks people on my behalf, but I still have to thank those who contributed to this. The chairman, sir, the speakers, the vice chancellor, represented by Professor Sani, and Professor Sani himself, the representative of the alumni, want to appreciate you for the contribution made to see this event. This event actually is supposed to be the route to the homecoming of the Faculty of Arts alumni. We should, from this moment, propel ourselves to see that we have a befitting homecoming. There are a lot of our alumni members who have joined us online who are not able to attend the symposium. But we hope that this will enhance the efforts being made to revive the Alumni Association of the Faculty of Arts. We also want to thank all those we invited, especially members of the university management, deans and directors here present or represented, for being here at this symposium. We should not forget to thank the DG, Nigerian Television Authority, who graciously offered to cover this event freely, even though he's not an alumnus of this university. But also he was persuaded by two alumni who are also graduates of the Department of Theatre and Performing Arts who are working at the NTA. They are so excited about it and they feel that this should be covered. We thank them very much. We also wish to thank the addresses or the target of this symposium, the youths. As you are here, we hope you learned a lot, not just about the issue of national development, but even the art of presentation in public. We hope also you have learned the art of taking down notes and taking seriously what was discussed here. We thank you very much. We thank it is protocol, public affairs, for their contributions also, because they assisted us a lot in the process of realizing this. We will not finish this without thanking the Dean first of the Faculty of Arts, who harassed us to organize this because he said he was being harassed by the Vice Chancellor. So it is a downward harassment. And we would not have achieved this without the cooperation of our colleagues in the faculty. Please, we should give them a round of applause. Many of them, I'll just call them on the phone and say this. People will just come and participate. Even in this room, they came. Some, the rain beat them, especially the women, and they are shivering of cold. But they are here, they remain here. We say thank you very much. Some of them fell ill. One managed to come now, because she's also an alumnus and also a member of the committee, but she is here. So we appreciate everybody for coming. I also want to appreciate myself for being here. So, yes, we thank everybody, and we thank God for giving us the opportunity to see this period. We wish all those who come from far away safe journey back to their various places, and we hope that our country will be greater. Thank you.